On June 25th, a series of violent thunderstorms swept through parts of Austria and Germany, turning a sweltering summer day into one of climate chaos. Thunder roared, hurricane-force winds surged, intense rains poured, and massive hail pounded towns and cities alike. Residents were forced to take shelter as nature unleashed one of the most powerful summer storms to hit Central Europe this year. In Tyrol, Austria, temperatures reached as high as 95 degrees Fahrenheit, 35 degrees Celsius before dark clouds gathered and the storm struck. Streets were buried under thick layers of hail several centimeters deep, particularly in parks and public spaces. Fierce winds toppled trees, some of which crashed into homes and vehicles, forcing road closures and triggering regional emergencies. Fugen, a town in the Zillertal Valley, was hit especially hard. Heavy rainfall transformed its narrow streets into raging rivers. A video recorded by residents showed hail and rain turning a road into a torrent. Firefighters from Fugen and nearby Hart were dispatched to pump floodwater from a submerged underpass and from areas near the town's train station. The material damage was extensive. Car windows shattered under the force of the hail, leaving many vehicles beyond repair. The Tyrol Fire Department reported 97 storm-related incidents, including downed trees and building facades damaged by lightning strikes. In Wargau, lightning struck a single-family home, igniting a fire that quickly spread from the facade to the roof. Fire crews from Bruckeshell brought the flames under control in about an hour and sealed the exterior walls to prevent further flare-ups. Fortunately, no injuries were reported. Another lightning-related fire occurred in Kassel, in the district of Kitzbühel, where a hay barn caught fire. Although the blaze was extinguished quickly, a sizable hole was left in the roof. These incidents reflect the raw power of the electrical storms that struck large swaths of the Tyrol region. In Kitzbühel, the situation was just as severe. Basements and streets flooded, while emergency crews worked nonstop to contain leaks and protect urban infrastructure. In some areas, hailstones were so large that heavy equipment had to be used to clear the streets. Hilberg, located in the Schwaz district, narrowly avoided tragedy. A driver escaped unharmed when a tree, torn from the ground by violent winds, crashed down on their car while driving uphill. Elsewhere in the district, more trees toppled onto rooftops, causing further structural damage. In Vorarlberg, the storm brought hail and rain, but it was not as severe as initially feared. However, emergency alerts remained active in regions like Syria and Burgenland, where the Alert system issued public warnings. Similar weather concerns were raised in Lower Austria and Vienna. The storm also took a toll on cultural and social life. In Upper Austria, the Woodstock Metal Music Festival was evacuated as a safety precaution. Attendees were allowed to return once conditions improved. In Wieselburg, a popular local fair was cancelled, and a concert by artist Cabard Gary Seidel in the state capital was rescheduled for July 24th. Styria faced intense rainfall and localized power outages. More than 1,000 households lost electricity for nearly an hour. Authorities worked swiftly to restore service, and preliminary reports indicated that most electrical damage was temporarily repaired that same evening. In Bavaria, Germany, storms felled trees and caused widespread damage in both rural and urban areas. Emergency teams were deployed to assist residents trapped by flooding and to secure vital transportation routes. Wolfsburg experienced similar scenes. Firefighters responded to over 100 incidents within a few hours. Downed trees, destructive hail, and damaged homes and businesses brought public transportation to a standstill. Rainwater even seeped into buses and trams, forcing a complete suspension of services while technicians assessed the situation. In Braunschweig, another hard-hit city, streets were completely flooded and fallen trees blocked major avenues. Emergency phone lines were overwhelmed with calls for help, and police were forced to reroute traffic away from newly formed danger zones. Across central Germany, the National Weather Service issued warnings for destructive hail, hurricane-force winds, and flash flooding. The states of Saxony and Brandenburg were placed on high alert as the storm system moved east. Multiple towns experienced disruptions to both road and rail traffic due to fallen branches and debris. By late afternoon, the storm front reached Polarberg. While the hail was significant, the impact was milder than initially feared. Still, anxiety ran high, and residents remained on edge for hours as the storm passed. Meteorological authorities reported that the storms began weakening and shifting eastward as night approached. However, southeastern Austria remained at risk for severe weather. Areas such as Schuisch, Kitzel, and the Wipptal Valley saw renewed bursts of hail and heavy rain later in the evening. Despite the turmoil, no fatalities have been reported. Most incidents involve property damage, some of it severe, but no loss of life. Emergency crews, volunteer firefighters, public works departments, and local citizens sprang into action, launching cleanup operations and repairing damaged infrastructure. Photos and videos posted on social media captured the storm's devastation. Images of shattered windshields, hail-pummeled homes, and streets transformed into rivers illustrated the disaster's full magnitude. Fallen trees blocked entire neighborhoods, and emergency responders worked around the clock to restore safety and order. June 25, 2025, will be remembered as a day of climate fury across Austria and Germany, a stark reminder of the power of nature and the resilience of the communities that weathered the storm.